Even though we operated in the dark, it all started with a light. After my parents died, my whole world had gone dark, and I felt so lost. But then I took an oath to carry on in my parents' memory and the legacy Batman had created. From that light, I watched our world grow. There were aliens, Amazons, gods, royalty from under the sea, super scientists, and space cops, all trying to help the world be the best it could be. I saw the generations come together with sidekicks, new faces, and new backgrounds, all with a mission, not only to bring justice, but also a hope that shined brighter than any candle ever could. But the darkness never goes away. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Jon Stewart, Green Arrow, Black Canary, Aquaman, Hawkgirl, Zatanna, and the Martian Manhunter. You could never question what they stood for, what they meant to the world. I know to so many of you here today, they were more than just mentors. They were fathers, mothers, friends, family. There will be hard days ahead of us, but I promise you, if we work together, hope will fuel the light that pushes us through this darkness. Just as that candle did the day I took my oath. And as long as we continue to fight and keep these candles burning, the Justice League's legacy will live on. This is Dark Crisis. Chapter 1. The Justice League is dead. Hey everybody, welcome back to Laps Comic Fan. I'm Steve, and today we're talking Dark Crisis! Dark Crisis!
Crossfire!
It's not Crossfire, it's Dark Crisis. So I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys like the channel and like what I do. Somebody has to. I mean, it's got to be somewhere. You guys are, I know you exist, but there has to be more of you. So Dark Crisis. This is the big DC event of the summer going into the new year. I believe this is 6 issues, so it should run into December. There's a ton of tie-ins. Main story is written by Joshua Williamson, art by Daniel Sampere, I don't know how to say his last name. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, and there's a lot of stuff that led up into this. This is more like a legacy crossover event. They're trying to build up new things while also trying to set, I think, a position for where all the older characters fit in. Like, where does everybody fit into DC right now? And it's interesting, to say the least. I mean, there's only one issue so far. I will be doing all the main issues. I'm not sure if I will be reviewing the tie-ins. If there's a good one out there, I will do that. So we'll see. We'll see as we go along. Also, I did do a Thor God of Thunder review. I'm going to do that in 2 parts. I will release that closer to the Thor Love and Thunder movie. So you guys will get to meet good old Gore. Not that Gore, a different Gore. Gore.
So, our cursed offspring, Gorgor, doth deign to spoil our moment of triumph and glory?
Alright, so anyway, let's get into DC's another crisis, Dark Crisis. With the Justice League dead and gone, attacks are happening all over and at an alarming pace. Jon Kent and the Flash are taking on Cobra, and they're more brazen than ever. Weeks later, it seems every radical group is making their moves in every country they exist in, and all the major villains have been keeping quiet. It seems strange. Wally and John are being spread thin, and they can use some help. Hal Jordan shows up and helps the two dispatch the Cobra goons. Hal has been away for a long time in deep space and wants to know what the hell is going on. Where is the Justice League? Wally and John take Hal to the Hall of Justice, where on a bed lies Black Adam, and he tells his story of how the Justice League died and he was the lone survivor. They were ripped from the universe by a different Superman to stop a dark army led by Pariah that destroyed his friends and were heading to their Earth next.
They tried valiantly, but Black Adam was ejected from the battlefield by the darkness, but not before seeing the remaining members of the Justice League ripped apart by Pariah's powers. He promises the darkness was halted, but not before the Justice League was destroyed. Hal doesn't believe Black Adam's story and is a little disappointed in Wally for believing it. I mean, this is the guy who tried to kill the League multiple times over the years. Jon tries to convince Hal by saying his father vouched for Adam and wanted him in the League. Hal wants to know who they've contacted to look into this insane story. From Dr. Fate to the Atom and even DEO agents. All have come up empty. Hal asks where Nightwing is and wants Wally to think. What would Barry do? Wally thinks Barry would investigate the crime scene and follow the evidence. Hal agrees and doesn't even know if this darkness has actually been defeated. The world needs them to find the Justice League. Jon wants to know what he should do about all the attacks happening now. Wally turns to him and says, "That's what the world has Superman for."
So an interesting beginning to this comic here. We got the Justice League is dead. They had a comic called The Death of the Justice League that led into this, and also there's always the Road to comics. There was Road to Dark Crisis. So there was a Road to Dark Crisis, I think, had like 4 or 5 mini stories, and The Death of the Justice League was in the regular Justice League run. I would advise to read Death of the Justice League before you read this. You don't have to read Road to Crisis, but it does have some stuff in it that explains a little bit more of the story beforehand. So we got Jon Kent and Wally, and they're fighting Cobra.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry, Cobra.
Not that Cobra, but they're fighting them, and it seems that all of the minor crazy death cult and, apocalyptic doomsday cults and different gangs are out there doing their thing now that the Justice League is no more. And it's made the rounds so everybody knows, and all of these little gangs are popping up. This is their claim to, glory right now. They're going to stake their claim right now because this is the best time that they've had to do so. So everybody's coming out of the woodwork. But one of the things that's weird is none of the main villains have made any of their moves. So that's a little bit strange right there. So it's weeks later, and they're still fighting off these different gangs. Wally, West, and Jon Kent, they're doing their best, but they're getting a little bit tired and overwhelmed, and that's when Hal Jordan comes back. Now, in the Road to Dark Crisis, they had a story where it showed Hal was in space, and he was fighting this weird, creature that was made up of a ton of different things, and it went into Earth's atmosphere and went down into the ocean towards Atlantis. It broke apart, and Aqualad ended up helping him out. Says, "Where's Arthur? Where's the Justice League?" And Aqualad tells him the Justice League is dead. They died. And he's just kind of like, okay, whatever. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So that's what he was doing and why he showed up here, because he had been off planet for a long time. And when I read this, I was kind of like, well, that's convenient timing. But then I remembered, oh yeah, the Road to Dark Crisis, they had that part in. So that's one of the things that if you don't read that comic might be a little bit, convenient that he just shows up. So Hal does show up, and he's wondering what the hell's going on. He's told that the Justice League died, and they bring him to the Hall of Justice where Black Adam is laying in a bed, and he explains what went on in the Death of the Justice League. So the Justice League members that at the beginning of this video that I did that little bit on were taken by, I think it's Earth Society 2. Superman is President Superman. Jesus Christ. And there's this enemy, the Darkness, and Pariah. That Pariah from the awesome Crisis on Infinite Earths. That Pariah, that one that sucked real bad. You remember him? Yeah, it's that one. And he's leading this army, and there was all these, the biggest bad guys. It was almost like Sinestro Corps War, but different. He has all these bad guys, and Black Adam's telling him, we fought valiantly. My lightning was doing some stuff to them, and then I was expelled from the battle, but not before I saw Pariah incinerate the Justice League. He's like, the darkness is gone, but
they're dead. And Hal doesn't believe this. He just doesn't believe this, and rightfully so, because, I mean, it's Black Adam. Regardless if he's telling the truth or not, he's very suspect to begin with. And he's like, this guy, the guy who's tried to kill us a zillion times, you know, all these people, he's just totally tried to wipe off the face of the earth. We tried fighting him 100 times over. You're going to believe him? And Jon tries to, you know, he's young, and he goes off of what his father says, and why not? He tries to tell him that my dad vouched for him and wanted him in the league before this. And he's not even paying attention to Jon. Hal's not even paying attention. He's like, Wally, what would Barry do? And Wally's like, Barry would follow the crime scene and follow the evidence. He's like, that's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the crime scene. And once you do that and you do all the evidence gathering, I'll go after the perp. So Hal comes back and he's taking control. He's, you know, it would make sense that he would take control, being, I don't know all who's left still, being the senior member. And, you know, it would be good for the heroes that are still around to kind of gravitate towards him. Maybe not like as a leader, but it's Hal Jordan. You know he's going to get his stuff in. So, yeah. So after that, Jon Kent is like, well, what do I do? And, you know, about all these attacks and all this stuff that's going on. And that's when Wally turns to him and he says, you know, that's why the world has Superman. So basically saying, you need to be Superman now. You need to step up. And so Jon gets the idea. He's going to go around to all these other people, and he starts asking all these other heroes to join a team. He goes to the new Wonder Girl. I think it's Yara Flor. I don't know. I don't read Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl. I haven't gotten around to that stuff yet. I still haven't read The Trial of the Amazons, which I'm going to read. But he goes around and he gets a bunch of people to say no to him. But he also gets some to say yes. I can't remember everybody off the bat, but it's Jon trying to be a like beacon of hope for everybody. And he's doing the best he can. So he goes around to a bunch of different heroes and some not so good people, and Aqualad says yes. The two Blue Beetles and Booster Gold says yes. And what's crazy is the whole while this is going on, you see some crosshairs like from a gun, and they're trained on Jon and certain other people throughout this comic. And if you paid attention in the beginning, where Nightwing was giving the eulogy type thing, he talked about keeping these flames burning like this candle, and that will have the Justice League's legacy live on. And Deathstroke was on a building and he blew out that candle. So Deathstroke's definitely going to have a major part in this book. So you see a panel where there's a ton of heroes and he's asking who's in, who's not. Some say yes, some don't. Some have to stay in their section of Earth because all those gangs that now know the Justice League are dead are making their play for everything. They're attacking everywhere. So we're going to see what happens. Is Jon going to be able to get a good team together? We'll find out.
Outside the Hall of Justice, supporters and protesters gather. The world is divided and in chaos. Black Adam is watching the people and talking to his departed lover, Adriana, about the horrors he saw in space and how he should have died so he could be with her again. He's confronted by Jon, who says he's been learning from Nightwing, Wally, Hal, and even Adam himself, and he knows what the world needs. A new Justice League. Black Adam looks confused, and he looks up and down the group Jon has assembled, saying some of these people would stab you in the back, and the others. Jon interjects. They're good heroes, and people are scared. The world needs a Justice League. Black Adam flies away but tells Jon the world needs capable heroes, not children. You're not ready for this. This is no Justice League. We all know who should be leading a new Justice League.
There's a lot of protesters and supporters outside the Hall of Justice. We see that the world is it's turned upside down. People are definitely on polar opposites. There's a battle line and people are on either side. Black Adam is talking to himself. He's kind of talking to his dead wife or lover, Adriana, and like these people don't know anything. And it's kind of funny because Jon Kent, he's like, who you talking to? He's like, don't use your super hearing on me, boy. And he said, if what you say is true, Kondak needs me. I gotta go. Jon's like, wait a minute, man. I've been learning from Wally, Hal, even you, and I think I know what the world needs. They need a new Justice League, and this is where we see the people that he got for his Justice League, and it's like Supergirl, both Blue Beetles, Booster Gold, a Frankenstein, Aqualad, Harley Quinn, Damian Wayne, and a couple others. And this is kind of funny. It's like he's tried so hard, and he's really been getting the shaft this comic. Like, Hal didn't even listen to anything he had to say, and Wally went from, teaming up with them as soon as Hal got back. He's like, Hal, yay! Thank God, I'm going with him. And Black Adam's just looking all puzzled. He's like, these people? Like, that one will stab you in the back. This one's psycho and will stab you in the back. Do you really need 2 Blue Beetles? And he's about to say something about someone else. John interrupts him. He's like, look, these are good heroes. The world is scared. They need a Justice League. And Black Adam tells him, he says, this is no Justice League. So you're in over your head. The world needs capable protectors, not children. And he's like, and we all know who should be leading the Justice League. So the next panel that they show is Dick Grayson at Titan Towers. So they're alluding to Dick Grayson being the one to lead a new Justice League, and I'm okay with, because out of all the heroes throughout DC's list of them, Dick Grayson has been one of the best ones in my opinion. They've led to like Dick Grayson being, a really good person, and I'm sure he's had some stuff where he's been bad, whatever, because you're talking about like 80 years of history, so there's got to be a storyline where Dick Grayson's a dick. But it shows that Jon is trying. He's trying very hard. And how do you follow in Superman's footsteps? That's got to be the hardest thing. He's so beloved everywhere. He was a citizen of the world, and probably the first one ever. And it's got to be a giant responsibility, and you don't have a lot of the other members of the league to fall back and help you with this. Everybody's preoccupied doing their own thing, and that nobody's trying to help him, and the ones that do step up, they're basically told, yeah, no, this is a ragtag group of nothing. This isn't gonna work. So I'm sure that was disheartening to him, but I don't know what I would feel about this Justice League moving forward. It would definitely be interesting, but the Justice League is like the top heroes. That's what it was made to be. So, I don't know how I would feel if they did comics with this Justice League moving forward.
Jon Kent is on his way to Titan Towers, and the crosshairs are on him again. Dick is training some new recruits when Chupacabra stumbles in a bloody mess. He says they were watching him, stalking him. Nightwing wants to know who, but before he can get anything out, a massive explosion happens in the tower. Outside, an army of superpowered villains rush the tower with one intent: to kill anyone who has ever called themselves a Titan. Deathstroke says to leave the teachers for him. He's going to hurt them like they've never been hurt before. He's going to kill their legacy. Found trying to spy on Deathstroke's new army was Beast Boy, and he looks at Slade telling him, you can destroy the tower all you want, but we will build it back up again. Deathstroke looks at Beast Boy and tells Garfield he's not going to destroy it. He's going to leave it as a massive wreck and as a warning for anyone who wants to pick up the torch and put on a costume. Deathstroke pulls the trigger and kills Beast Boy. Far away, we see a display of a multiverse and its destruction. Pariah, taken over by the darkness, is speaking to himself about how these heroes don't understand what darkness has done for them and how many of them were formed out of darkness. Parents killed in an alley, a dying world. Yes, so much good in their world has come from death. The Justice League wasn't enough. We need more heroes from Earth Zero. We see the characters from this book in reflections of cracked glass, and Pariah saying, look at them believing Black Adam. So full of hope. But hope is the strongest power in the multiverse. One we will turn into a weapon. Once the skies turn red, we will be brought down to Earth Zero and use the deaths of the Justice League to destroy the multiverse.
John's making his way to Titan Towers, and Dick has been training some new recruits, and inside the towers, Chupacabra is making his way in, and he's covered in blood, and he's talking about how they stalked me, they followed me. They attacked me. And Dick wants to know who and what the hell's going on, but before he can get anything out, bam, an explosion happens. And we see this giant page of all of these villains storming Titan's towers. And you're just like, oh. Deathstroke is making his move. And he tells his villains to leave the teachers in there for me. I'm going to make them suffer like they've never suffered before. I'm going to kill the legacy of the Titans. And that was their mission statement. They were to kill anybody who called themselves a Titan. And hiding amongst the villains was Beast Boy, Garfield, and they bring him over to Deathstroke, and he's yelling at Slade. He's like, dude, you could tear this tower down. You know we're gonna build it back up. And he's like, oh, I'm leaving this standing. We're gonna leave this here. This is gonna be a warning for anybody who wants to pick up the torch and a costume. We're not destroying this. And then he shoots Garfield, kills Beast Boy. I was like, damn, dude. Jeez. All right. So he's dead. So we cut to this panel of all this multiverse, and it's just all these Earths being destroyed. And we have someone who's talking to themselves, but they're talking like they're two people. And we see it's Pariah, and he's got the darkness within him. And it's almost like a split personality type thing. And he's talking about how these heroes don't appreciate the darkness when a lot of them were formed out of darkness. He talks about Batman's family being killed in an alley, Superman, his planet being destroyed, and why can't they see that so much good has come out of death? But he needs more heroes from Earth Zero. The Justice League wasn't enough. And this is interesting because we see Pariah, there's like all these shards of glass, and we see all the heroes from the book inside of there. And he says, look at them believing Black Adam, so full of hope. And hope is the greatest force in the multiverse. One, he's going to turn into a weapon. And he says, when the skies turn red, then he will go back down to Earth Zero, and he will use the Justice League's deaths to destroy the multiverse. And that is the end of chapter 1, or issue 1. It's a okay issue. I mean, there's, you know, you're going to have more explaining to set up what's going on than you are going to be having action, but they did show some really cool action panels, and this was more what was happened after the Justice League died. What was the fallout from that, and more Jon Kent picking up the mantle and picking up the slack and trying to form a new Justice League. And Deathstroke marching on Titan's towers. I mean, he's probably been waiting for this forever. I mean, he's been going at it with the Teen Titans I mean, that's their biggest villain. And it's crazy because when Pariah's there with his hands out and stuff like that, you see like Superman, Wonder Woman, John Stewart, Black Canary, Batman, all the ones that died in the death of the Justice League inside these spheres. So it's like he has these like weapons. I don't know if he's going to be using them or the power within these spheres that each of them give off as a weapon. I don't know yet. And it's pretty interesting. I want to see more with the Dark Army, but I don't know. I could say I give this like a 6 out of 10 overall. I'm sure it's going to get better. The story, like I said, about 6 out of 10. The art, I like the art. The art was fantastic. I give that an 8 out of 10. We're gonna continue to review this, but I want to know what you guys think. So leave a comment below and like and subscribe if you haven't. If you want to, you know, that'd be cool. If not, I mean, thanks for watching. But yeah, let's see where this goes, and hopefully it's not another event that goes nowhere. That there's no change, because it sucks. I can see where the fans now, from whenever I was a fan, they did events every so often, but now there's like 10 events, 11 events every other month is an event. And if they don't go anywhere and they don't lead anywhere, that's for the fans. I'd like to see there be change in the DC Comics universe, and I'd like it to come from this, and that would be really cool. But I'm Steve. Have a good night, everybody. Don't forget, live stream Saturday night, 9 p.m. It's going to be fun.